Here we go. Hey, hey, hey. Happy Teach Me Tuesday. I sent out a text, so there should be some people popping on from the text group. If you got the text, please tell us you got the text so we'll know everything's working, right? Good morning, Rita.
Good morning, Lisa. Thank you
this
so much.
I think this is the first time we've been on camera together, right?
It
Outside of the
is.
Zoom call.
It is. Yes, it
Yep.
is.
So, before we get started, I think I have everything together, but everything's within reach if not. So we can grab it if we need to. When you pop on, y'all be sure to say hey, hey, and we're going to get started. But do you first want to tell them a little bit about yourself? And I was thinking this morning, Let It Flow Paint Party. Where did that name come from?
Well, it actually come from anointing myself, trying to find out the name that I wanted for my business. After 2 days of struggling, writing down names, nothing came. So I decided, okay, Lord, and I anointed myself and it went all over me. And I was like, oh, wow, just let it flow. And there it was. So that's how Let It Flow came about.
I
And I
love that.
always use my anointing oil when I'm struggling, when I can't come up with something, and God always helps. So that's where Let It Flow Paint Party came from. And I am Rita, and I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me for Teach Me Tuesday.
Yes, absolutely. And I love that. And actually, for those that don't know, because you wouldn't know, behind the scenes before we hit go live, we had a little bit of a technical issue and we just asked him to help, and the echo just went away because we couldn't figure it out. Everything was set up right, but we got it and now we're on. So, what are we doing
Amen.
today? For those who may not know me, I'm Lisa with Heart's Desire. And we do this episode once a month. For right now, we're doing it once a month. We may add more later depending on how it goes and what y'all want. And it's Teach Me Tuesday. And what it is I've invited people, the other creators from the community, to come on and teach me something that I don't know how to do. Like, somebody's not going to come on and teach me how to paint a 3D door hanger or home decor, because that's what we do. Not that they couldn't teach me something about that, but I wanted people to come on and share content that's not something that I normally would be able to provide, because I don't know how to do all the stuff. I like to chase the squirrels, but that don't mean I can catch them.
Right.
So, what are we doing today?
Well, today we are going to do a drop cloth bunny. So
Love it.
I have 3 reasons that I like to use the drop cloth. Number 1, it's very affordable and you get a whole lot with it. So it's just a great price to pay for material. Number 2 is, as you see, when you're doing these, you have some fray. It frays very, very easily. And number 3, you can make so many different things, which I will show you later on. We're going to do the bunny now, but I have other projects that I'm going to show you so you can be as creative as you want.
Awesome.
So, are we ready to get started?
We're ready. I see we're live in all the places, so we are ready.
Okay, I'm starting with this piece of wood and a ring that makes a beautiful frame. Now, these are available at Heart's Desire. So I'm not sure, and Lisa, you can let us know if you make other shapes or not. I've just always done it with the rounds. I love them, and then I love having this extra piece that gives me a complete frame.
Yeah.
So you can tell us how, all about it. I'm going to go ahead and turn down so y'all can see my
We do all shapes and sizes. We can do, our bed size cuts 24 by 36. That's 2 feet by 3 feet, right? But we can do larger. I just haven't played with that yet. Hello, Pepper. Pepper Rock Scissors is here.
Well, hello.
Her name's Angela, but I call her Pepper. Lots of people call
Oh,
it pepper, I
okay.
think.
How are you? So what I do, I like to do and have done on this is I use a 12 by 12 piece of paper. Now I'm going to show you some of the papers that I pulled out just so you have some ideas. I am going to stay neutral today, so I don't know if I'm going to do this neutral paper. This tends to be my favorite with the scrolls in there. I just like doing a lot of the neutrals and adding my pop of color with the bows or the flowers. I also like this one, so y'all can kind of help me if you will. If you like the stripe, the scroll, or the butterflies. But I want to also share with you that you can do colors. You can pick your paper and do awesome bright colors because the drop cloth is a neutral color. So it's totally up to you. Get as creative as you want to be. But I do want to do a neutral color. So what do y'all think?
I think I like the one on your left.
So the scroll, the butterfly.
Yeah.
Which
scroll.
one?
The scroll.
That was actually my favorite too. So we're going to pick the scroll. Now all we're going to do is we're going to take our ring, and I'm going to move this for just a second.
I'm using burlap paper.
Huh?
I'm using burlap paper. Can you see?
Burlap paper. Oh,
Yeah,
how cool. I can't
found
wait to
this
see
at
what
Ollie's.
happens
I
with
have
that.
a whole book of it, and it's a paper. It's got the paper backing, but it's actually burlap. It's cardstock.
Wow, cool. Now what I'm going to do is I'm laying this ring down, and I'm going to use a pen, and this ring is a little bigger than here. I'm going to do it with this. Then it'll be easier, but it's a little bigger, my ring this time, than the first one I used, because I think, Lisa, you do all different sizes, right?
Yes.
So this ring must be a little bigger, but that's fine because once my ring is on it, it covers anyway. So all I'm doing is drawing around my ring where I'm going to cut this paper out. So real simple. And then you just cut it out. Now, like I said, mine's not going to be a complete circle, but it's going to be fine because once my ring goes on it, it gives me that beautiful frame. And later on, I'm going to show you that if you don't want to have a ring on yours, there's a different technique you can use. And of course, there's many. You know, us creatives can come up with so many great ideas. But I will show you one that I did with just using Lisa's ring. I mean, back, what do you call it? The
round.
The round, just the round. Okay.
So I have a question.
Okay.
What about if people there are probably some people, I don't understand it, that don't have a stash of paper. So what if they don't have that and they have fabric? Can they do this with fabric?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I did a 21-day thing with Mod Podge, which I'm going to be putting my Mod Podge on right now as we're talking. And I did a 21-day using fabric with Lisa's different sample pieces of wood that I got in a grab bag. And I put all the Mod Podge on the same day, day one. Then throughout the 21 days, I took a piece of fabric. Now, just so y'all know, I'm going ahead and taking my Mod Podge, and I'm going to be putting that on while I'm talking. And for 21 days, I picked up that already applied Mod Podge on all the wood, and I ironed it on because I had let all of it dry, and every day I put it on. To this day, and I checked it probably about a week ago, and I did this probably 4 or 5 months ago, that material is still very firm on there. So I thought today I would do the technique where I'm going to let this dry and then I'd iron the paper on. But to save time, I'm not going to. I'm just going to go ahead and apply my paper on here once I have my Mod Podge on. So that way it'll save us a little time. But yes, you can use fabric. If you're a quilter like I am, you probably have tons. And yes, fabric is very good, holds up very well. And
I've never Mod Podge fabric. I'm not a quilter, but I do love fabric. I have a stash of fabric. I almost got rid of it this weekend, and it's like I just can't do it. I have to find a purpose for it because I love all the pretty colors and prints, just like with the paper. I don't do a lot of paper crafts, but I do like to buy it.
yeah, I love it too. Now, the paper, just so you'll know too, if you and now as you see, mine are straight on the edges, but it doesn't matter. So just get the corners, get it on there where your rounded part is, and just put it down there because we're going to put that ring on, and then smooth it out good. But the paper, I buy all kind of papers. Now, I like to get mine at Hobby Lobby every other week. It's usually on sale. Theirs is called the Paper Studio, and you buy it in great big thick books. They're like $20, so you're paying $10, but you can get up to 180 sheets if you're buying the thinner sheet, which is what I'm using today.
Yeah.
Or 60 sheets if you're using cardstock. I do recommend if you're using cardstock, you make sure you're generous with your glue, with your Mod Podge, because it is a little thicker, but that's fine. And you do not have to, we will not be going back over top of this. We're only sealing this down because we're going to be adding this ring, and that will hold it. So I'm going to put this back over here. I'm going to paint my ring. And on my ring, I'm going to do the Waverly Chalk White. Now, you can use they have like an off-white. They have cream colors. I'm going to use the white just like I did on this one because I will be coming in and adding some gold rubbing buff. And I just like the way that pulls out my bunny tail and the different whites that I've used. So that's our next step.
So tell us down in the comments, everybody, do you have a stash of paper or fabric or both? What's your favorite thing that we're not going to say hoard because that sounds negative. What are the things, what are the things in your craft room, in your studio that you lovingly have an abundance of? Yeah, I did. I was going to say I didn't get my paint, but I did.
You know, for crafters, we might be better off to ask the question, what one thing do you not have?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's easy for me. Can anybody guess what I don't have a hoard of?
I bet it's going to be yarn.
It's yarn. That's my one rule when I invite people on Teach Me Tuesdays. We can't do anything with yarn. Yarn is not welcome here.
And I do have yarn today, but I also have an alternative because I know your love of yarn is not there.
Yeah, she gave me an alternative. That's right. I love the people that work with yarn. I love to see the yarn pieces. It's amazing, but it's just I've not yet forgiven the yarn.
If y'all have not seen that video, you need to look it up. It was quite hilarious.
I need to look that video up and post it again because we have a lot of new followers since then.
Yes, they need to see it. That was
they need to see the yarn bow.
That was a week challenge.
That was a traumatic time in our studio. To the point that Jonathan bought me a yarn bow ornament for Christmas as a joke, and he don't ever do stuff like that.
Okay, I've just got this all painted now, and I'm going to move it over here to the side, and I am going to let it dry. I'm going to turn my fan on.
What color are you using? What color paint did you use?
I used the Waverly chalk paint. I used white.
Okay, I'm using
Waverly. People like to
also.
use the ivory, which is an off-white, but I just used the Waverly from Walmart.
That's what I'm using, but I'm using plaster, the color plaster.
Yeah, and that'll work too. I'm going to be using in a little bit some rub and buff. So while that is drying, I'm going to put this back. Let me see where I am. Make sure y'all can see. I'm going to put this back over here. That won't take too long to dry. And let's see.
Do we want good solid coverage on this ring?
No, you don't have to. I mean, you can do it any way you want. Some people like to see the wood tone coming through. Your technique of the baby white method would work real good too, because it's okay to have different shades. I love different shades. For those of you that work with me, you know I love different shades. Yeah. So it's just who I am. So I love multicolors. So anyway, I'm going to be using E6000. I let my good glue, which is the Star Bond, get hard, and I've still not ordered any more yet. So I'm going to be using this to put my ring on as soon as it's dry.
I don't have that.
Well, no, you have Star Bond.
So I can use that. Okay.
Yes, you can use. You could even use a wood glue, or you could use a whatever you have, you can use it. You know, any adhesive. You can even use hot glue and glue your ring on. Okay. But you do want to use something along with the hot glue if you use the hot glue, because the hot glue will come off in time. So you don't want to just use hot glue.
Okay.
Now, if you've used a paper like me, you're going to have your bunny somewhere on here, and it's going to be quite large, about like my two hands. So you want to kind of move it around to see what you want to see. I want to see these scrolls on the top of mine. So this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to make my top up here. So you want to be observant of that, of how you're going to do it. While that is drying, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the drop cloth. Now mine's just a 4-foot by 12-foot canvas, so I ended up picking mine up at Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight was $7.99. It's huge, y'all. So if you've been out buying material costs you quite a bit. So I'm going to do
about that much for a yard of material, right?
No, because this is 12 foot by 4 foot, so that would give you 4 yards, and to get a yard of material, it's it can be as expensive as $12 a yard. Right. Now, what I'm doing here is I am going to cut me about a 8-inch by 8-inch square or so is what I'm doing. And I'm going ahead and cutting this because this is going to be my base that I'm going to put my bunny on. Now on the other side is where I have done my little strips where they're nice and long. So all I'm going to do here is I'm cutting right up along this edge, and I will do something with this, so don't throw anything away. And then I'm taking about a 2.5 inch, it can be 3 inch, just, you don't have to really worry, but I want this fray in there, so that's why we are going to tear it. So from there we just tear down, and I've gone down to about, you're going to need about a 2-foot strip of 2.5 and a 3-foot strip. So I've already torn one that's about 3 feet. So I'm going to just stop there and just show you, because you want that fray. You want that fun, frayed, antique-y old look. Now,
I'm going to interrupt you for a second, because for those of you who don't know Rita or don't follow her, you want to go follow her. But when she says don't throw anything away, she means do not throw anything away. This woman uses so many things. I'm watching her on her lives and see her using stuff. I'm like, are you serious?
Yes, that's so true. That's so true. So
if you have something you don't know what to do with, text Rita.
That's right. We'll figure out a way to use it, because you don't throw anything away. We will use it if just to And the same with like your bubble wrap. Don't throw bubble wrap
No,
away.
no.
I know all of you shop at Amazon.
Yeah.
So keep it. Okay,
Hey, Tony. Tony popped in here.
Okay, my ring is dry. That's one good thing about having chalk paint. It dries so fast. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead with my E6000 and we're just putting that on. And then we're getting to the part that you've been waiting for. It's coming. Now, there's some of you that I hope that might not have been ready. I hope that you're just kind of watching and then you'll gather your supplies because these are fun projects to make. Now I'm just kind of going around getting my glue. And whatever wood glue you have is fine. Even if you're using the Elmer's wood glue, that will work. Whatever wood glue you have. Now I'm going to put my top back on because I ruined my other one by leaving the top off while I was crafting. So I'm just going to turn this around and I'm going to put it on here, but I'm going to hold it up so I know that I'm putting it on straight. I'm going to turn it over and make sure I have it all the way around where I want it and then turn it back. And I'm just going to hold it for a minute because this takes a little bit longer to set than some. I let it ooze out right here, so I'm going to get rid of it while it's wet.
I'm going to use my
turn
clips.
it around and check. What'd you say, Lisa?
I'm going to use my clips. Y'all, check out these clips. I got these at Dollar Tree.
Let me see how they work, Lisa.
You get 20 clips in a pack. These are called plant clips, so that's where their gardening stuff is. But you get all different sizes. You get small ones, medium ones, and then the big one. And I bought this because sometimes when you're doing projects like this and gluing, you want that glue to set, especially if you're using wood glue, because it doesn't set very fast. And you just put these clamps to hold it in place until it's dry. So for $1, I was like, what? I need those. Because, you know, a lot of us have these pink ones in our craft room from Dollar Tree. But these, you get more, and they open a little bit wider. They're a little bit more flexible, and you get big ones. So there's my Dollar Tree plug.
And if I had some, I'd be using them. Since I don't, I'm using some weight on mine, and I'm going to move it to the side.
That's right. All right. I really like that burlap paper.
Great. Now, where did you find your burlap paper?
I think I got that at Ollie's. Do you have an Ollie's?
No, I do not. I do not have one of those. Okay, so now that little, are you caught up with me, Lisa?
I am. I'm keeping on with you.
So now we're going to use this little piece that I'm going to be gluing my strips onto. So you want to have a piece, and the reason you don't have to do this stage, you can just twirl these up and glue them yourself. Make sure your glue gun is on and you'd like it on hot. But you can glue this into a circle yourself or your whatever shape you're using and glue it to itself. I find it easier to just glue it right onto the paper or the material. And I like the drop cloth. I actually used the cotton on the other one, and I like it, but this is nice and firm, and it really makes it firm. So I'm going to use my shorter
So on the supply list where it says a square piece of material, this is actually the material that she's referring to. So
yes.
You don't have to have material that's not going to be something decorative on your piece. It's just for the base of your rolls.
Right. On this one, I had used just a white piece because I have a roll of probably 500 yards on this roll. But then I just did it on some other projects, and I just like this. It's thicker. It's a little bit weightier, and I like that. So, and you have plenty of it. So now we're going to just start with our smaller strip, and we're going to do the bunny head. Now for the bunny head, I wanted him shaped kind of like the bunny's head, not round. I have seen them done where they are totally round. If you're more comfortable doing the round, go ahead and just do a round one. I'm going to do just a little bit more of like an oval shape. So how we're going to start this is you're going to take the end of your strip and you're going to put hot glue right on the end, and you're going to turn this into 1/3. So there's one, and then you're going to put a little bit of glue on there, and you're going to fold this one back over that way.
I'm going to make you the highlight of the show so we can see what you're doing.
Oh, okay. So you've just made it into thirds. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and fold that completely and just put a dab of glue on that end. Being very careful, because with it being hot, it can burn you, but with this thick material, it really is not, you can almost not feel it. So I'm going to start over here because I'm going to do about in here for my bunny head. So I'm going to start kind of like what would be the middle of my bunny head. And I'm going to put a glob down there. Just a little bit, not a whole lot. And then we're going to hold that for just a second. While I'm holding that, I'm going to take and I'm going to start twirling this.
Oh, hot, hot.
Don't get burned. Now they have these really cool, here, let me show you, finger guards at Dollar Tree. So you can get 3 finger guards, and these work really good if you want to stick them on your fingers too to make sure that you don't burn yourself. What?
Labriska said, hey friends, how cool is your setup? Girl,
hey.
I'll help you
Thank
get your setup. We can do that.
Okay, so now here comes, once you've twirled that material, and I just like twirling all the way and get it to the end, because if you don't get it to the end, it'll come back and kick back on you. So
people are laughing at me, Rita.
What'd you say?
My people are laughing at me, Rita.
Oh!
She says she knew that was coming. It's going to happen. Lisa's gluing. When you see Lisa using hot glue, you know something's going to happen.
Hey, I can't keep everything away. I gave you an opportunity on your
I know.
On your yarn.
You protect me as much as you could.
Once you learn to twirl it, though, you will, and you get it started on this, you won't burn anymore. That first one might be a little tough. So what I've done is I've put about 3/4 of an inch, and I'm starting to just go around in a circle. And then I just put my glue down just a little at a time, making sure this is twirled each time.
And it needs to be tight?
It does not have to be tight. You use your preference. I do mine a little bit tighter, and I make sure as I'm twirling, I want to see all this rugged part. I want to see that fray. So I just go right up against where you've just done it. That way it kind of sticks to the material, and it sticks to the other part that you've already put in there. So you just twirl it and stick it to itself. Now you're kind of shaping it as you go, because I'm going to end up having this come out a little like the head, and then once I have it to where I want, which is 3 or 4 times around, that'll be good for my head. Then of course the body will be bigger, so just twirl it some more and then stick it down. And you will see when you're doing this, you'll feel that it's getting firm. It's getting, it's not flimsy at all.
Am I gluing it as I go, or just?
What did you say? Are you gluing it?
Uh-huh.
Yes, you're
okay.
See, you start with that 3/4 of an inch straight, and then you just start doing about 1.5 inches of glue. Like right here, I'm going to show you. I do about 1.5 inches.
Okay.
And then I twirl some more. You have a minute, so you don't have to worry about doing it right away, and then just get it in there and push it down.
Karen said you remind her of Dolly Parton when you speak.
Ah, yeah, I've got that Dolly Parton's voice, don't I? I wish I had her singing talent. That would be wonderful. I didn't get that. So now I'm just going to go about 1.5 inches again. You don't want to overdo, and when you get comfortable with it, you can go more. But for the sake of showing y'all and teaching you, I don't want to get ahead. But as you start working with these, it's amazing what you can come up with, and I will show you at the end. I have created a couple different things that I will show you that are just adorable. And in time, I'm going to make a sunflower.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see that.
I want to do the sunflower and for prayers for Ukraine. They are really struggling, and that's their flower. And so I'm going to play with that probably sometime later in the week, because I have plenty of drop cloth to play with. Now I'm going to be bringing this down and loosening it up a little bit right in here, because I want this to come down a little more like the bunny's. It's where I'll put the bunny's nose. So you can just kind of shape it as you're going on this point. So
okay.
If y'all have any questions, you can just...
Karen, we're using a drop cloth from, mine came from Walmart and hers came from Harbor Freight. Rita, do you have a YouTube account?
I do not. I don't have good internet yet, and it's coming in the summer, and then I will upload all my videos. I have tons on my page, but I don't have anything uploaded because it takes 14 hours to upload from my house.
Right. She doesn't have a text service, I don't think, but she has Telegram. For those of you who have the Telegram app, and if you don't, a lot of creatives are starting to use the Telegram app, and it's a really good interactive thing. And it's just a messaging thing. It doesn't have a lot of content. You can put videos on there, but she does have a Telegram account. We'll post that when we're done here. She has it tagged on her page, Let It Flow Paint Party.
Okay, now I'm at the end of where I want to do. This is plenty big enough, and I have two things I want to show you. I'm going to take this extra string that in here off. So I'm just going to go right down in there and cut it. And then I want to stop about right in here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off this excess. There again, y'all, don't throw this away, because this will make a beautiful something. I don't know what, but just think of a petal on that sunflower that I'll be able to do. So don't
tell me, on the piece that's on your drop cloth right now, do you just have it glued in a circle?
This is more of an egg shape that I'm doing right now. Okay. Which I'll show you in just a minute, and let me finish this up, and then I'll hold it up closer to the camera and show you. And our next piece is going to be a full circle, but this is more. So as I'm finishing this up, I'm gonna get right to this end. I'm gonna hold that, but it's more of an egg shape. And this will be my bunny nose up here. And that'll be where his face is. So he's not quite round, but if you want to do round, you can. Now to finish this up, you want to go inside that end, way deep in there, because you don't want to burn yourself, and put a little bit. And you can even hold it with the nozzle. It's not going to work with the nozzle. So I'm going to just squeeze that together, because I don't want that to be sticking out at all when I get into adding this together. So now that's going to be the bunny head, and we're going to do the bunny body right here. I'm going to show you again on this, here's my bunny head, and my bunny body is nice and big and round. So we're going to do the same thing, and this is your longer piece. And there again, you know, you may, depending on what you're using, you may or may not make it the same size as me, because you're going to make it according to what piece of round you're putting it on. So here again, I'm just going to do this in thirds to start with. So there's one. Lisa, am I going too fast for you?
I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm not done with my head yet because I was waiting for you to finish, but.
Okay, well, I can wait.
I'm almost done. I'm just gluing down my tail now. Mine's not quite oval, but I can shape it when I apply it.
And it doesn't have to be, because, you know, some bunny heads, the way they're looking might be more round. Some, you know, so
Right.
it's okay.
Just like with flowers, they're not perfect.
That's right. And think how cool it'd be just to do a big round bunny head or an oval bunny head and have these big floppy ears, because my ears are more little smaller and pointed, but we could do so much creativity. So I'm just
Oh, I did buy something else at Dollar Tree to help me with this project, and I forgot.
What's that?
I'm going to show you. I got one of these little makeup tools.
Oh, cool.
It's
now,
a rubber
what are you
spatula.
do with that?
It's a rubber spatula, so I can press my stuff down without burning my fingers.
Oh, how cool. You know, they have those little silicone cooking gloves too. But I've actually gotten good with this since I've been playing with so many different ones. So once you have your third done, go ahead and just do that next set of folding that right in half.
What do you mean third?
Well, what I did was I glued, just like we did our first one. We take that 2.5 inch, put a little glue, fold it over, and then glue, and then fold it over again. So you've kind of got it into a third. I've already done that part on mine.
So that gives you a tight finish.
Right. So yeah, that's how I started the first one as well. And then I just go ahead after I've got my third, and I fold it in half again and just put a glob in there. So it's kind of just starting, making it get into a little round circle almost, but it's not quite a circle. But just to get you started. So, once you have that all,
I live in Myrtle Beach, Karen. I do not live in Florida. Shelby, Rita's page is Let It Flow Paint Party. If you look up in the description of the reminder from earlier, it has the actual workable link, and we'll also post that when we're done. Actually, I can probably do it right now.
And just so y'all see, I just now stuck my start here, and I realized it's not going to give me enough room. So it's okay if that glue's on there. Pick it up and move it, because you want to make sure that body is going to be pretty big. So before it sticks, just pick it up, move it. Don't worry about getting that glue off, because we're going in a big circle and we're gluing right over it. So from there, we're going to do the same thing again. We've got that little base, so now we have to start twirling. This is my longer piece, my 3-foot piece, so it takes a minute longer to twirl, and you want to get it all the way out to the end, because if you don't, your ends are twirled one way and your starting is twirled another. So kind of a little bit more work on this longer piece, but just kind of twirl till you get it about how you want it.
Yes, please spread the joy. Thank you, Pepper. Y'all please sprinkle and spread the joy and spread the love and all the things.
Yep, and as we say over at my page, let it flow.
Let it flow.
All right, now I have that 1 point on, so now I'm going to start going right into a circle with this one, and I'm just going to start going right around it. Twirling, 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 and sticking it right into that hot glue. You can do this as tight as you want or as loose.
I'm almost there.
Are you almost there, Lisa?
I'm getting there. I'm burning my flesh and keeping up.
Girl, don't be burning yourself. Twirl that material, make it nice and thick, and then push it down into your glue from the top so you don't get burned. And then you only have to hold it a few seconds. Then twirl, twirl, twirl.
Spin, spin.
Lisa, make yours big. I want to see what you're doing. Can you do that for me? Wonderful. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Well, I'm trying to get back to where we were. There we go. There's so many view options, I get confused.
Now, I do want to ask everyone, too, that is watching, if you create something, you might like cats, you might like, something different. Please share it with us so that we can see the different things that you've created. And you might want to have a bit bright, colorful background. So it's.
And you can paint your drop cloth.
Yep.
If you don't want it to be this color, you can paint it, or you can just paint pieces of it. Have you ever done flowers?
I am going to add paint to my sunflower that I do, and I will show you one of the projects that I did earlier at the end that I did actually used watered down paint and put my whole strip of drop cloth into it and left it hang outside to dry.
Oh.
Yeah, and I will show you how I did it. Now, I used just a gold color, so it's not as vivid as I'd like to see, but if you want to do flowers, I mean, think how cool these would be to do a whole bouquet of flowers using different shades, bright colors.
Oh, yeah, copy stain would be pretty. Karen said
and do you a whole vase of flowers, all different colors. But I'm gonna definitely be playing with some more because I have tons of drop cloth now.
Have you done the flowers?
I have not done the flowers. Actually,
I've never made fabric flowers.
Huh?
I've never made fabric flowers.
Oh, yeah, I have done fabric flowers, but not out of the drop cloth. I can't wait, though. That sounds fun. And just think, you can color them in so many different colors, and you just kind of water down your paint and make it liquidy and dip them in and then hang them out to dry.
You can even use Posca pens to add some details.
Hey, great idea. That's something I have not invested in yet. I have got to get Posca pens. Or, didn't you say you had a link to a different?
Yes, I found a different brand. My friend Lacey at the Painted Needle, she's never used Posca pens. She bought these as her first purchase. They're called Graffiti. And I think I got like 20 for $20 or 25 for $20, something like that. They're very cheap. Yes, they're paint markers, Pepper. The Posca paint markers that I usually use on my videos. There's another brand that I found that's not quite as expensive that's just as good. The only thing they don't have is the chunky point that I like with the Posca pens. But for the regular size, I'm using these other ones. And the white is really good.
So, how's that?
I don't think I have enough of a strip for my bunny body. I think I'm going to have to cut some more.
Oh, you should have plenty if it's 3 foot.
It is, but I don't think I wrap mine as tight as yours.
Okay.
I'll let you look at it.
That's a good thing about this is you can add to it, you can take away. I mean, so if you need to add more, just tear you another strip.
Hello, Joyce from Holly Ridge.
I wish I could see y'all's comments, but I can't. I can't run two devices. So I'm so glad Lisa's talking for both of us, but I definitely will go back and check everything out. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to comment.
All right, I'm going to make it big so you can tell me. Do you think that's big enough?
Let me look. Kind of put it a little closer to your body, your head, and let me see. Yeah, you need to probably go another
round.
Yeah, another round.
Okay.
How is it compared to your round that you're using? Are we still, it's hard to tell on here how big you really are, but are you good where your bunny will fit on your round?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Then we're good.
I love that burlap.
You what?
I love the burlap. I'm glad I found that.
Good. Now, Lisa, do you have your different size rounds? I didn't even think. I know I had two. So how do you have different ones on your website?
Yes.
Good.
Yep, I do. I'm using a 12-inch, and the 12-inch is just fits on the 12x12 sheet of paper. Oh, right. Good. Karen followed your page, Rita. Christy said,
"Yay! Thank you so much."
She's made fabric flowers, but not animals. Pepper, did you see my paper that I was using? It's burlap paper. It's like got a cardstock backing.
That sounds so cool. That's going to really make your bunny pop too.
Rita also has another page, or it's a group. You want to talk about your group, Rita?
Yes, it is God's Heart in Our Art, and it is Bible verses that we do with art. At the beginning of the year, I did one every day for 40 days, and now I do 2 to 3 a month. And it's just a good, simple way for us to learn some Bible verses, because when we put some color and art to it, it just tends to help me remember what they are. So something God laid on my heart at the beginning of the year to do. And last year I was doing a book on doing double pages. So there's a lot of videos in there, but it's all based around Bible verses or inspiration from the Bible.
And that's a free group, right?
That's a free group. And it's God's Heart in Our Art. My bunny body's just about done. And then we can start putting this guy together.
Since I'm adding to mine, I did it a little bit looser and a smaller piece of fabric, so it's a little more frayed to look like he's fuzzy.
And just so y'all know, if you want to get, the strips that they have at Walmart, they have strips, or you take fabric and strip it, do it. You can do the same thing if you get a cotton, because it does fray. It's just, it won't twirl up and be as thick. So you might have to cut 5-inch strips instead of the 2.5, because you won't get the bulk. But y'all, there's so much you can do.
The name of the group, Karen, is God's Heart in Our Art. And I will make a post with all of the links and things, all the good things to find Rita. So she can't hide from you.
God won't let me hide anyway. If he's got somebody that needs a message, he finds us a way to get it to them.
That's right.
And that's what I find in this. You know, I ask God, why me, God? Why do you want me to do this? And it's real simple, because it's not about me. It's about somebody out there that needs to know or see what's being put out. And he's funny with me. God will not let me have my Bible verse till I've spent my time with him in the morning and he gives it to me.
Yeah.
Because I like to be prepared ahead of time, but he wouldn't let me. He's like, no, this is where your faith comes in. Trust me. And then he gives me the perfect one, and I get messages saying, oh, perfect timing. I needed that today. So that's how God's heart came about. Now I'm going to turn y'all down and I'm going to show you. I am finished with my bunny head and my bunny body. And this makes it nice and hard now. It's really firm. So we're going to just cut around it. And Lisa, are you with me?
I'm almost done.
Okay, I just don't want to get ahead because we're teaching you how to do drop cloth art.
You want to show them your other ones while I catch up?
Hey, I can do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut both of these out so I have it ready. And then I will show y'all some of the other ones I've made. So once you've done this, now, like I said, you don't have to put it on material, but to me, this is so much easier to be able to glue it to the material than try to glue it to each other all the way around these circles. So, and then I just cut around it. Now, I'll turn you up. I'm going to show you a couple of the ones I have made. This is just some eggs. This is the one that I used to color in the yellow, let it drip dry.
And that crackle background makes it
cute
pop.
Little eggs. What'd you say, Lisa?
The crackle background makes it pop.
Yeah, and then this is just a small 4x6 or 5, 4x6 I think, frame where you get 3 in a pack. So yeah, that's all that is. This one I absolutely love, and I wanted to share this with you because it's the round, but it didn't have the ring. Now I have just a whole stash of Lisa's stuff. So it didn't have the ring. Now, as you see, I used a paper back here that looks like it's wood. It is not. It's just paper. And it's a bird. So I used
love
the half
that.
beads. What'd you say?
I love that.
Yeah. So it's just the half beads that are glued all the way around that one for the border. And then I just made the nest. And of course, you know, there's plenty of eggs out right now with the Easter. He's got the button eye and then this flower and this flower together for the beak, just tucked up under there. And then the wings are just a shade that I picked to go along with my flower. So all of it tied in together. So that's the bird. I also will be adding the drop cloth hanger. I just think it sets the whole picture off.
So you use the drop cloth material for it to hang by?
Lisa, if you're talking to me, for some reason I'm having a hard time hearing you.
You use the drop cloth material?
Yes, the drop cloth material. That's like what I told you to save. We'll use a piece of that here in a minute.
Okay.
But, and that's how I do the hanger, and that's how I did with this one as well. This one's a lot longer, but you can, this is actually a bigger round, a smaller round, and my one I'm making now is, the bird is smaller, and these are the same size. So let's do our bunny. I'm going to turn you back down and let me see where I'm at on my list. Out. Okay, now we're at the ears. I'm going, Lisa, have you caught up?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to be using some of this lace. If you have a tablecloth that you cut up and use, that's fine too. I think that's what I did on this is a tablecloth, so it's much more separated lace. But you're going to do three things here. You're going to use some of your drop cloth. And I forgot to tell you this part. You can use material or you can use drop cloth. So I'm just going to use my drop cloth, but I'm going to do it on the side that I have cut on already.
I forgot
like
to get lace
keep my
out.
part that I tear. I like to keep that in a line where I can tear it. So I'm just going to cut down here and cut me a piece off. And to do the ears, we're just going to make just big bunny ears. Don't have to be perfect. Don't have to be no certain shape. It can be pointed. It can be rounded. Just a couple shapes about the same. So I'm going to just do the same thing here. And if you have just your regular material, that's fine too. Now I'm going to move all this so you can see what I'm doing to make these bunny ears. This one didn't come out quite as rounded on the top, so I'm just rounding it. Now I'm just going to pull some of this because I want to see some of the fraying behind. So you can just pull it. Or you don't have to, it will fray in time, but you don't have to do a lot. You just kind of give it a little different texture back there. And then you're going to do the same thing with these, but only a little smaller. So I'm just going to double this one. And the third part I'm going to do is the matching colored. I told you to pick a few matching colors. I'm going to do mine in this purple. Same thing here, but only smaller yet. So we're just going to add a little bit of color into that center of the ear. So you have 3 layers. Y'all with me?
I didn't get material, so I'm getting material. I'm going to actually use some, I'm going to use some of this. I'm coming.
Don't you worry. This is the fun part. We're almost done. There's just so little left to do. And here I just used a white material on the base. And the reason you want something on the back is because the lace, you want something that the lace can stick to, because you don't want this with your glue coming out just on that. So whatever color you want to use, if you wanted to use all 3 colors, it's fine. Whatever you use for your ears. And as you see, I've totally changed up my ears on this than I did on that. So don't be picky with what you're doing. You're just get creative. So now I'm going to just add the glue and just start getting the glue on here. And I'm going to lay my lace down. Now I'm going to go ahead and just put some on here on my material. And I put it on this first and then this, and that way I can push these two together. And being careful because it's still hot.
My glue
that
gun
way you
died.
can kind of push it down and it becomes a much firmer ear instead of floppy because you have 3 pieces. Now, Lisa, I don't want to get ahead of you. So, did you get you some material?
My glue gun died.
What happened?
My glue gun died.
Oh, goodness.
I'm getting out my backup. I got it.
You got it? Good.
Hopefully it'll heat up fast. You know, I thought this morning I should probably charge that battery for my glue gun.
I ended up picking this one up, and it's Sure Bonder, and it was at Walmart for $10 because my other one was leaking so bad that I would constantly make a big mess.
Yeah. Well, this one is the Ryobi.
Oh, you got your Ryobi?
Yeah, and it's like it comes off. It don't have a cord attached to it. So I've done much better with it, although you couldn't tell that today.
That's all right. We learn. And you don't realize how much you really do, how much you really are using the glue gun.
I honestly don't use the glue gun a lot because it scares me, but waiting on it to heat up.
So, did you get your paper, your materials cut out?
I got it cut. I'm just waiting on my glue gun.
Okay.
So I did mine like that.
All right, and then what you're going to do once you have your 3 attached, you're going to fold this in the middle and you're going to glue it together about 1/4 of the way. Put just a line about 1/4 of the way, and then fold this together and just give that ear a little shape. But only about 1/4 way up because then these will fold back and you can glue it down underneath your bunny. So, did y'all see what I did? I'm going to show you again.
Let me make it bigger. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
So what you're going to do, because you want this to open up, you only want your strip of glue about 1/4 of the way in. So you're just going to go about 1/4 of the way in, and then you're going to fold it together. So that way you can still flop out your ears, and it's going to go under your bunny here in a minute.
Okay.
So you just do that. So we're going to wait and let Lisa catch up because we don't want to get ahead of her.
Well, that glue dried. So I'm just kind of pinching it down at the bottom, right?
Yeah, just put the strip of glue 1/4 of the way in and then just pinch it together. And that way when we tuck it under, you don't have a huge thick part, but you want that little bit of the ear to be gathered. Kind of gathered, yeah. And his ears are much bigger than my other, and that's the fun about these. No two is going to come out the same. The head is not quite the same shape. It's actually a little more rounded, but than my other one, which was super oval. But that's okay. And then when we go to place them on, you may want your bunny head way high. You may want him looking down. You're going to play with him in a minute and see how he's going to look best on yours. So, Lisa, are you with me now?
Yeah. Karen asked a question, is Sure Bonder better than regular glue? The Sure Bonder, that's just their specialty. It's what they do. So it is a really good product, but they have glue guns at Dollar Tree that people love. So it's just really a matter of preference, I think. And I've seen some people that use Shore Bonder glue sticks only, and I've seen a friend of mine that does the Sola wood flowers only uses the Gorilla Glue sticks. The Shore Bonder glue, they have these. It's a rope instead of a stick. Can you see it?
Yes.
I like this because I don't have to keep refilling. It's just a constant feed.
Cool. So Lisa, do you think the Shore Bonder that I bought, which is this one, do you think it's the same as what, I mean, even though it came from Walmart? Because
yes,
that's what,
it's the same one.
and yeah, and I had picked up their glue sticks, which you get a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And I think it was like $6 for all of these. So
yeah, they're very reasonably priced.
I had a cheap $3 one. Not that I got an expensive one because this thing only cost me $10, but it's working good. It's definitely not leaking, and I have a lid because I got so used to it, but it hasn't leaked at all. And I've done probably about 5 projects with it so far. So, are we ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Now we're going to start positioning how you want the body, how you want the head. You can have his head up with his ears back.
I'm going to make you big again.
Huh?
I'm making you big again.
You're making what?
Making you big again.
Oh, okay. Okay. So anyway, you got to play with them. And now remember, we're going to put a little bit of greenery and maybe a flower or two here. So that's this part you want to make sure where you want what. So I think I want mine like that. I want my ears kind of like that. So I'm content with my bunny like this. Can y'all see him good? Yeah, so I'm content with them like that. So I'm going to start with the head. But I'm not going to glue up here because I want to tuck my ears. But I want to keep them right there so I know right where I want him. And I'm going to put my glue on there. And I'm going to put that right there. Now I want my body right there. Now I have this little indent where I stopped, so he fits in real good right there. So I think that's where I want him. Now this is going to be more of his nose. So he's kind of got his head down. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to put me some, and I'm just going to go right around this outside. I'm kind of holding it so I know that I have him right where I want him. And then get that part down. And then I'll turn him around. Do this other part. Now you might be able to just eyeball it. I just find this is easiest for me to do one side and then the other so that I know I have him where I want him. Now these bunny ears have got to go under here. So I'm going to squeeze him more flatter here.
Do you glue the head down before you do the ears?
I glued half of the head. I see this part is still loose. I just glued half of the head first and left the top part, and now I glued the bottom and the top of the body. So that way all I did was picked up part of it, stuck the glue under. Now I want to do the ears, so I'm going to play with them a minute and see how I want them. So I think I want it like that, maybe like this. So now I'm going to turn this around, and I know exactly where I want them, and I'm just going to put some glue on this part, and I'm going to raise this one up and stick it under here, but I'm going to add just a little bit on the bottom, and then stick it right in there and put that head down. So there's one ear. Now we're going to do the other ear. I'm going to put some on the top and some on the bottom and stick this ear in.
This is so cute.
Isn't it so cute? And then you just hold it for a minute. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put a dab of glue right here on my ring, because I want to make sure that ear stays there. And I kind of like the way this one's poking up. Let me see what it looks like this way. I kind of like that, so I'm just going to secure right here. So you just find a couple spots that you want to kind of secure, and I think that is fine. I like that three-dimensional look. So you just find a couple spots that you secure it, and then you know it's already secured under the body.
Here's mine. What do you think?
Oh, I love it. Now, have you already glued down all of it?
Yep.
Yay, yeah. That looks good.
And I left
now
my
we're
ears
going
where
to,
they're floppy.
Yeah. So you see, like, mine's totally different on this one, and totally different on this. So whatever you create is fine. It's your creation. That's the whole joy of doing this. Now, this is the part where I saved Lisa, because you can have yarn, and I'm going to show those of you that don't mind the yarn how to do it. And you just do this right around your fingers, 4 fingers, just round and round and round and round. And I have the Dollar Tree fuzzy stuff. That's what I got. So now I'm going to just cut off a piece, and I'm going to cut off another piece that I will tie. I go around my 2 fingers. Just stick that piece in there through the 2 fingers.
You know what I'm using for mine?
What are you using?
Tulips.
Tulips? How cool. That's great. So then you just tie this, tie the yarn. Now, most of you know how to make a little pom-pom ball. But if those of you that don't, that's how you do it. You just round your fingers, or if you have a piece of wood the right size, you just do that. Now I'm just going in here and cutting all these pom-poms. This being fuzzy has a lot of fuzz flying, so it might get your nose going. But that's how you do the little pom-pom. And then you can use that for the tail. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut these longer ones a little bit. Let me get them over here to the side. And I'm going to go ahead and use that one this time, since I made it. I'm going to do it. But I'm going to blow all them pieces off. I'm going to shake this down in my trash.
Here's my tulip butt.
Oh my goodness, Lisa, see, that's so creative. Now I'm just going to glue this little thing on his butt. So there's this little butt. Now we're going to go into the eyes. I used the eyes from Walmart. I just pick them up there. A lot of you will have buttons you've saved. I actually do have some really super cool buttons that I have saved. This button is broken, but I'm going to use it for his nose, but it's got part of it missing.
So we have a button for an eye and a button for a nose. Is that right?
I'm using a button for the eye and a button for the nose, but the one for the eye, I'm going to do a little bit bigger button. But you don't have to use the same colors as your accent color. You can use a brown nose. You can use a brown eye, whatever you choose. What I use on him, I used a brown eye in the, oh, look what I did. I forgot I did that. I actually took a piece of this material and glued onto that button. So, yeah, just whatever works for you. I'm just doing the 2 purples this time. And I'm just going to put a dab on. Now, be real careful when you're working with buttons. Use your fingernail or use your silicone brush or your silicone finger guard because the glue will ooze through that. So there I'm bringing in my purples. So that part is done. Now, I'm going to go ahead before I get any further and I'm going to do this on the outside. You do not have to do the gold. I like it because it just kind of, I just like it. I just like it. So I'm just going to gently put it all around. I don't have no rhyme or reason. I'm just adding some gold.
Now I have to use the
Now
glove.
I'm just
to
going
do
back
that.
over and, what'd you say, Lisa?
I said I have to use a glove when I use my wax. I can't get it off my fingers, and then I touch everything I touch turns to gold, but I can't sell it.
Well, I know a lot of people prefer to use that. I just do that and then I grab my baby wipe and wipe it off. And so far it's never bothered me, but that doesn't mean it won't one day.
Well, I'm using the Prima wax, and it smells delicious.
Yeah, see, I'm going to get some of that. I am definitely going to get yours because that's one thing about this is having it smell good is awesome. Now I'm going to go ahead, y'all. I think I'm ready for, I'm going to do down here and then I'm going to add my bow last. And on my bow, where is my strips? I've decided I'm going to change something up. I'm going to use this little thing in a neutral color that I just picked up at Hobby Lobby the other day. It comes in a package and they're burlap bows and they were half price. So I just decided I'm going to do this, but I do have bows strips cut somewhere. Now here are some of the greeneries I'm going to use. Now I'm going to show y'all a little secret too. Most of these you can just pull right off. So that's what I like to do. I like to pull them off and then I kind of lay them where I need them. I don't monkey with trying to bend that wire or cut that wire. And I don't like that one because it's bent way high. But I only want a little bit of greenery on this bottom. So I think that right there is plenty. I don't want a whole lot. I think I might do it more like that. So once you know where you want the little bits of greenery, then go ahead and glue them down. So I'm just going to put a glob in there and hold that down until it gets cool. Now for me, what I do with my greenery or my flowers, I buy it every time I catch it on sale. And then I wind up throwing it all in a basket and I just go grab it, whatever colors I need at the time. So that one's good. I really like these because it has a big fat bottom. So I like that. It holds nice. Now the same thing with these.
Are you gluing yours on your base or on your ring?
I'm on my base. But if you need to glue on your ring, go ahead. Either one. Now the same with these. They pull right off. I don't want these pink flowers on my purple, but I want these leaves in there. So I'm going to pull those off and I'm going to add those as well. So I'm just going to add a glob in there and those in there as well. And I'm going to use these little purple ones that I picked up because I want this color. Now these I'm going to have to, oh, they break right off. Yay, that's a good thing. So I'm going to use a glob right in here of doing these purples. I just want to get some purple color in here. And that pulls right off. Now you always want to make sure you have something to cover up all your glue glob, which mine's all right here in the middle. So I have these cute little, also picked up at Hobby Lobby, little purple flowers. Let me find my little right tool here. Now I'm going to just stick this right in and cover up my blob of glue. I bought me this little set. Oh, am I not even showing y'all? Oh, good.
You are. You can see most of it. It's
okay, good. I bought this little set for $12 at Walmart. It has like 5 or 6 tools, and it works so good. It saves your hands from trying to do all that. So I'm just sticking that right into my glue that's still hot down there. And I'm going to go ahead and do one more. And I am doing this a little further down so that I can use that wire to bend and stick into my hot glue. But by having these flowers, see, it's covered my glob of glue. It's made it very pretty. Isn't it adorable?
Oh, it's so cute.
So the only last thing to do now is my bow. And I don't know why I can't find my little ribbon, but I have plenty more. And I was just going to add a few strands of my different color back here just to bring in some of that color. Okay, so all I'm going to do is move that over, and I'm going to use just a dab of glue, and then do that strip. That strip. That strip. And I'm going to cut these strips down some. And then we're going to hot glue that right on. I'm going to have to get another glue stick.
Trying to decide what kind of ribbon I want to use for my bow.
He's so cute.
It is so cute.
He is so cute. Now I'm just going to cut a little piece of this, and all we're going to do is add to the back. Or if you have Lisa's handy dandy little gadgets that she puts on the back to hang them. I don't even know what you want to call them, but that'll work too.
They're just hangers.
Just hangers. Okay,
Yeah,
her hangers will work great.
Can you see
Matter
it?
of fact, oh wait, that's not one. I have one too. You know what? I should use Lisa's hanger. I've never done that before. So,
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Shame on you.
But the only thing is, I am going to use your hanger. I have not used it because I don't have the good glue. Now, can I use the E6000 on this?
What I do on mine is I use the Star Bond and wood glue. I do both just to reinforce it because it's going to be hanging it.
So you use the glue and Hot glue?
Wood glue.
Oh, wood glue. Okay, well, you know what? I want to try that with this, so I'm not going to add that. But for those of you that do not have Lisa's hangers, go ahead and just cut you a piece, and I just hot glue it onto the back. Oh, I used the other board. Yeah. So see, I improvise. Santa can be on the back too.
See, I
But
told
yeah,
y'all she
I
don't throw
had
nothing
to
away.
improvise what I had when I did that first one, which I did, by the way, y'all, on March 23rd. I always make my little cards of what I've done and how I've done it. And it happens to say March 23rd. That was my 18-year anniversary of not smoking. So I'm kind of excited about that day. But there it is. So adorable. And there's so many different things you can, make. So y'all enjoy it. Let me grab my bird and just show you the bird too. Now the bird is much smaller, but get creative. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. And if you make any of them, whether it's a bunny, a bird, flowers, whatever you make, please post it over here on Lisa's page so we can see them. Can you put a post over there or even over on my page? And let me know that you did it. And I hope to see you all over on the page. And of course, we'll always be here at Lisa's. And matter of fact, I have a reveal this afternoon. Probably about 1:30. So if you're on my Telegram channel, you'll get to see what Heartbeats of Heart Desire has this month for April. And I always go on live and do my creation. So you can join me over there and help me out on how I should create whatever's in that box, because it'll be a surprise for not only you, but me too, because I have not opened it. So thank you again, Lisa.
Thank you for being here and helping us. I love this. We'll probably be doing more of these. And Karen, one last question. She said she's going to make one of these for her granddaughter's room. She calls her Bunny. And she will be 1 in May. And then she also calls her grandson Bear. So she wanted to know if you had ever done a bear.
No, but I'll sure try it and see what happens.
So make sure y'all are following Let It Flow, because she's going to be doing lots more of these coming soon.
Thank you so much.
Y'all have a great afternoon. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for sprinkling. We appreciate y'all. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye-bye.